Well, obviously, so we're excited about the opportunity that awaits over the next 9 weeks, starting on Saturday, and feel as though we're ready. Feel as though we've tested ourselves consistently throughout the non-conference over the 13 games and two scrimmages. Obviously, we've had some good performances, some performances we'd love to have back. But through it all, I think we've learned, and we've tested ourselves, and we've been able to teach through our experiences. So certainly playing Yale on the road on Saturday brings with it all types of challenges, but our guys are ready and they're hungry and they're determined to have a great Ivy League season.
Mike, when you play Yale, how much is it about the little details, the little things, and making the right plays until the clock hits zero?
Yeah, I think it's everyone in our league, but certainly them, because if you let your guard down and if you don't stay true to your fundamentals, they're going to expose you. Beyond that, just big picture, and this has been the case for a number of years. If you don't physically step up to them, they're kind of like to pride themselves on being bullies, right? And trying to just physically impose their will on you. They're going to try to do that, by just trying to play bully ball, offensively, defensively, on the glass. I'm confident we're ready, but if you don't step up to the physical challenge, that can be difficult to overcome against these guys.
Last year's game, in Ivy Madness, is there any thought, any motivation, anything like that from the kids?
I don't think so. I don't think we need that. My message has been all week, let's just get lost in the process and get lost in the preparation. Sometimes I think if you let your emotions get a little bit too much, it can take away from the preparation. It can take away from winning the day. As cliche as that sounds, we have practice here in an hour, and we got to go out there and win the day. Our guys know who they are. They know what's awaiting us on Saturday. They all vividly remember what happened last time we played them, but we don't need any extra motivation. This is the first of 14 playoff type games against a really good opponent, and we're trying to get lost in the prep and get lost in the process so that we are. There's the old saying, you rise to the occasion. I don't believe in that. I think you revert to the level of your preparation, and we don't want anything to take away from our prep.
The last month, being able to play the heavyweights that you did, what did you learn about your team in those games?
Yeah, that we've got some work to do offensively. That it's when you go against the size and the length and the physicality and the switching and the denials that we saw at Kansas and Kentucky, we've got to be a little bit better. I think we've addressed some of those things in the last couple weeks of practice, and all of that's going to serve us well for going against a really good defense on Saturday. Different kind of defense than what we saw at Kansas and Kentucky, but yeah, it's been almost a full month now since that Rhode Island game, and the 3 games in between. Obviously we learned from all of them, but anxious to see kind of how we look against maybe guys more at the mid-major level.
What is the number one thing that you guys have to do on Saturday to get a victory?
Physically compete in the post, defend the rim, defensive rebound. We have to physically compete, because if you don't, they are going to try to bully you. Obviously, with that said, they have the leading scorer in the Ivy League in number 4, John Poulikitis. So we've got to make life difficult for him. But I would say defending the post, defending the rim, defending the defensive rebounding would be above everything else.
What makes them different now without a guy like Wolf that was in there? Is it a little bit more on Poulikitis? Is it a little bit more on certain guys?
I think Alaton and Townsend have really stepped forward as their 2 new front court starters, and Townsend's given them a ton of playmaking. Maybe not to the level of Wolf, but Townsend's like 4 assists a game to go along with over 13 points, 7 rebounds. I think he's playing really well. I think they're actually more athletic and probably longer across the board, with Casey Simmons in the lineup now, and then Alaton at 6'10". Defensively, they're really hard to score on. They probably don't have the playmaking ability at the 5 spot that they had with Danny Wolf, but I think the whole country sees how special he is and how talented he is with what he's doing at Michigan. So They're different in some ways, but, you know, 25 years now playing against Yale, you kind of have an understanding what you're getting yourself into, and no matter who the people are on the court, they play a certain way, and it's a credit to their coaching staff, and, you know, obviously the two guards they have are as experienced and as talented as, you know, you're going to see.
When you went into Ivy League play last year, it seemed like maybe there were still some things that you were figuring out. With the non-conference this year, you seem to figure some of those things out. How confident are you in terms of just your rotation, roles that guys have going into what's obviously an important 14 games?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess hindsight's 2020. We thought last year going into league play we had solidified our rotation too, and then 7 games later we had a whole new rotation. So like that could be the case this year. I do feel as though we've, you know, adversity came right away for us in September when Nana went out this year, and you know we had to, you know, adapt and adjust. 2 heartbreaking losses to start the year, had to adapt and adjust, and our players have been amazing, you know, with their focus level, their connectivity, their transparency with each other and with the staff. So I feel pretty good about, you know, our core guys that you're probably going to see in every game, right? Obviously, you know, Keno's going to play a lot, Landon's going to play a lot, Aaron, AJ, those guys, you know, as long as, you know, health continues to be good. But then I think we've got a lot of other guys we can go to based on what the game kind of tells you, what the opponent dictates, what the situation dictates, and you know, I'm excited to see. You know, we'll probably have to play a little bigger this weekend than maybe we have throughout the non-conference because of Yale, and you know, similar to kind of what we did at Bryant and against URI with Dabo and Landon playing together a lot. So I like that we have that versatility. We can also be small and I think take advantage of our speed, you know, at times this Saturday, and we're going to look to do that.
I want to keep asking questions if anybody else has something.
No, that was good. I mean, I was going to ask you similar to Nick. Like, I don't know if you can remember how you felt about your team going into league play last year, and relative to how you feel about the team heading into league play this year. It's kind of a similar question you just asked.
Yeah, you try to stay away from, you know, living on the results, but clearly the results have been better this year. You know, I do remember, like, you know, feeling that confidence that, you know, we'd come so close in so many games last year against good people, right? USC, Vermont, Colgate, whoever it might have been, like teams that went on to have really good years, either, you know, in the NCAA tournament with Vermont or Colgate, or obviously the talented team like USC. So there was confidence, and it was almost like a fresh start, a new season as you went into league play. This year our results have been better, but you know, I think you still try to focus on the process and all the habits daily that lead to those results. Human nature, you're going to feel differently when you're going in with an 8-5 record versus whatever awful non-conference record we had last year. So, you know, a lot of our confidence comes from, you know, the senior class and their experience and their leadership, and you know, we're going to lean on them for sure.
Yeah, I'll ask the generic TV question. How excited are you just to get into Ivy League play and you know the battle that you're going to have with the other 7 teams?
Yeah, I've said this a couple times this week. It's the most exciting time of the year, league play, conference play. You know, there's incredible passion and energy and spirit. You know, the guys are ready. You can just sense it, you know, when you walk into the gym and you see the way they're approaching practice throughout the week. It's also a pretty stressful time when you're coaching in the Ivy League because you know half of the group is not going to be playing here in March. So we want to certainly be part of the group that is playing here in March, but you know, there's a long way to go between now and then, and you know, the excitement of seeing Yale on Saturday will be, I think, probably more. When we walk into that building on Saturday, it'll probably come to life a little bit more than it is right now.
I'm sure it's on like everybody's mind just a little, just because that was our last Ivy opponent and just the way that it ended. But I think everybody here we're just more so focused on like the preparation and like what we need to do, like the process in order to get back to the Ivy championship.
Malcolm?
Definitely, just to add up what Dell said, piggyback up Dell, definitely the preparation, just making sure that we're prepared to go into Yale. Obviously they knocked us out, right? But obviously using that as motivation, but also just trying to take it game by game, right? Every game is gonna be a battle. So just going everything to every game, knowing that we gotta prepare, we gotta use the scout, we gotta just go into every game with the mindset that listen, like every game's gonna be a battle. We just gotta come out with the win.
Knowing how close not only that game but every game you play against Yale last year was, how much is it about the little things, the details, making sure that you're doing, play by play here right before the clock hits zero?
It's definitely important because most of these games come down to the small details at the end of the day. Just making sure we're sound on defense, running our stuff on offense, just being able to just be fundamentally sound. These games definitely come down to that, and also just like what Dell said, just preparing, just being able coming in practice, just being able to just execute the game plan. I feel like that's the most important thing.
Del, what do you remember about that run you guys went on in the second half of Ivy League play, and can you draw anything from that to start the Ivy League season this year?
Definitely. Last year, we started off somewhat slow. I'm not sure what our record was, but we ended up going on that big win streak. So I think the mindset everybody has now is just like, okay, even if we lose a couple, like it's never over, and just to stay fighting up until the last game.
In terms of roles, like last year, midway through Ivy League play, you guys had to sort of have a heart-to-heart and change some things up. Going into Ivy League play this year, how much do you guys feel like you established, okay, what each guy does in order to make the team successful?
We actually recently had another similar talk that we had last year, and that was our turning point. And I think everybody just expressed how they could be the best in their role, and just realizing that as much as you want to do well individually, the team comes first, and even though you might not get as many shots as you want, just knowing being a star in your role. For me, I may not shoot the ball 20 times, but I know me being a star in my role would be me locking up the other defender, being the dog in the gap, just stuff like that, making sure the team's tight and close connected. So
one thing you've done is your 3-point shot, and worked on that. Just how much did you work on in the off season? How much is it translating to the games?
I think it's been work. I've been working a lot since my freshman year. My freshman year, I came in, I wasn't much of a shooter, so just working in the gym every day, even last year and the other years when I wasn't playing, just knowing staying committed to the grind, and just knowing that would eventually work out. And then even last year, my shot was probably wasn't as much better that it is this year, but I think the confidence and knowing that trusting my work has really just helped me improve.
Malcolm, for you too, in terms of your role, seems like you feel like you've maybe grown a little bit. Where do you think you've improved the most?
Just staying the course. I feel like I was just last year. Obviously, I wasn't playing a lot, but just coming into this year, just knowing my role, knowing where I can help this team. I feel like that's what I came in and I did. I mean, if you talk to coach, he said we get into the preseason, I wasn't in the rotation, but just staying the course, just believing in myself, just playing with confidence, helping the guys out, helping guys get shots. I feel like I just try to master my role as much as I can, and I feel like it's definitely showing now that I'm on the court.
Darwin, you got anything?
Yale on Saturday. I mean, what is it going to take for you guys to go in there and get a win in a hostile environment?
Just us being the hardest player, most connected, and toughest team out there, and limiting our mistakes and just capitalizing off their mistakes. I think and just paying attention to every detail. Like Malcolm said earlier, the little things, and just realizing every possession does matter.
Like Dell said, just being the hardest player, toughest, most connected team, and also just also the little things, and also just having fun, right? Having fun, being able to just enjoy the game, enjoy the process, that definitely sometimes goes unnoticed, but at the same time, we're also out there to play basketball, and just remember, it's a basketball game. You're gonna have mistakes, you're gonna make mistakes, but just trying to limit those mistakes, trying to have fun, be able to just play within the game, play your game within the game, right? Just being able to just obviously just facilitate, be able to just just be able to just have fun, enjoy the process, and definitely just prepare, being able to prepare and just work. Let's just get to it. Like, you know what I mean?
How has the non-conference schedule helped you for what you're about to see on Saturday?
It's helped us a lot just being in hostile environments like Vermont and Bryant, just playing in those places. Definitely Kansas and Kentucky. Obviously, we didn't perform well, but just being able to be in those environments and just know that we can compete and we're a good enough team to where like these 14 games can go how we want it to go, right? So just stay, like Del said, just stay in the course, just preparing, just trusting our work, and we should be.
Yeah, I feel like the non-conference schedule has definitely helped us like mature as a group. I feel like last year we had a lot of games where we just like decided off of 1 or 2 possessions, and here early, I think it was our first game at Siena. We lost a close one, but I feel like since then, like we just grown, and like late game situations, we just found a way to battle through. Bryant, I'm not sure how much we were down. I believe we were down like 3 with not that much time left. We found a way. URI, double overtime game. It was a close one. We found a way. Vermont, it was close. Tough environment. We found a way. So I think like our non-conference schedule has really just helped us mature as a group.